Welcome to the Service Industry Podcast. I've spent the last decade as a CEO, operator, and business builder selling tens of millions of dollars in products and services. I, just like many of you, started with nothing. My mission for this podcast is to help you become the greatest version of yourself, help you grow and scale your business, and create the life you've always dreamed of. I'm your host, Matt Smith. Enjoy the episode. What is going on, everybody? Matt here from the Service Industry Podcast. Hope everybody's doing well. I just bit my tongue in that intro, and gosh, did that hurt. Hope you guys are doing good, man. Hey, I got a good episode. I know I say, sometimes I re-listen to some of my episodes, and I say this a lot. I'm like, I got a short one for you today, and they all end up being about the same length. But this one will actually be a short one for you. And this is just something I've been thinking about a lot lately, a personal experience for me. And you guys probably saw the title saying something along the lines of why you shouldn't take advice from anybody, including myself. And it's not clickbait. It's you're going to see what I mean by that here in a few minutes. And I think it's going to be a really good episode, and it's going to give you guys permission to make decisions on your own. And I wish somebody would have told me this a long time ago, because it would have saved me a lot of time, a lot of headache. I would be, probably not exaggerating, 100x more wealthy than I am today. And so I thought it was worth taking the couple minutes to share. All right. So as always, a little bit of housekeeping. You guys know I own serviceindustrycoach.com. We do marketing for home service companies, print marketing, website development, one-on-one coaching. And essentially what we do is implement the things I've done in all of my companies and am currently doing in my companies into yours, so you don't have to go through the learning curve that I did and spend hundreds of thousands, honestly, really millions of dollars at this point over the last decade in learning the things that I've learned. And so that's what we do at our company. We help you guys grow and scale. If you're interested, link is in the show notes, or go to serviceindustrycoach.com. And if you haven't joined the free Facebook group, where you been, man? Time to join. Join it up, man. It's an active group. Got lots and lots of business owners in there. People are happy to help, asking questions, sharing wins, sharing struggles, and I'm pretty darn active in there as well. So go hang out with us. Click the link in the show notes, and I'll accept you. Just make sure you tell me what kind of business you own. All right. So I'm going to share with you guys something that happened to me. This would have been, I started my first cleaning business in 2012. This would have been in 2015, I believe, maybe 2016, somewhere in that time frame. And long story short, I was building my cleaning business, and my first year, I've shared this before, I kind of just honestly was all talk and no game. I was really good at talking the talk when it came to business. I knew all the things I needed to be doing. I was good at talking about all the things I was supposed to be doing, but I wasn't doing them. And then I looked at myself in the mirror one day. I said, Matt, you are full of it. So get your crap together. And that was the next year I went all in, man. And I was head down, focused. And I mean, head down for 5 years straight. Didn't look at anything else, really stopped dreaming. And then in 2015, so this would have been like 3 years into that focus time frame, I was just recognizing trends, right? I was seeing kind of the business consulting, coaching era was kind of getting big on the internet. E-commerce was starting to really catch my attention. I'm like, dang, dude, people are really slinging products on the internet. Of course. Why would anybody buy something in a store when they can just order it on their phone? And I sat down with a mentor of mine. And I'm not going to share what the idea is or who the person was I sat down with, but it's someone to this day that I really, really respect. They sold a business for lots of money. They were in the home service business space, and I had a really good business idea. And to this day, it was a really good business idea. And I went to him and I said, hey man, I'm doing this window cleaning thing, and it's growing. We're doing great, but I can see the writing on the wall. We're in Michigan. It's seasonal. We shut down for 3.5 months a year. I have to lay off all my guys. every year it seems like we lose half or 3/4 of our people because people just like, they can't not work during the winters. And so even if they do it for one winter, like when the next winter comes, they're gone because they're like, I can't do this forever. And so labor's really challenging in this industry, in our market. And not only that, but like we're cleaning windows. So it's a luxury service. You can only charge so much for it. The profit margins aren't that good. It's honestly like, it's not necessarily a hard service to do, but it's a hard service to train on because you have to have real attention to detail. And I could see the writing on the wall. I'm like, I know I can build a 7-figure business doing this, but I think there's better ways. I think there's better ways and better businesses out there that I could be building right now. And so I shared my idea with him, and it was an e-commerce idea. And instantly he said, Matt, you're making a mistake. You need to stay focused. You've been focused for, 3 years. Look at how good you're doing. And I was like, you know what? He's right. I'm getting sidetracked, right? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm getting sidetracked. And so boom, head back down for another handful of years. And, I look back today because some of you guys know I started an e-commerce business in 2019. That business went from 0 to 5 million in 11 months. Okay, $5 million in revenue in 11 months. Our first year profited $1.2 million sitting in the bank. Okay, that was in year one. That was more profit than I had probably made in my window cleaning business close to date the whole time I ran it. And in that moment, I looked back and I went, gosh, dang it. If I would have just trusted my gut in 2015, 2016, I would have been the first to market. I would have been the first in the game to do this. And I would have had a 5 or 6 year run where e-commerce now is nothing like it used to be. Okay. Like in 2019, we were getting a 5x return on ad spend. In 2022, it dropped down to a 1.5 to 2. Now people are lucky to get that. Why? Because all of the stuff with Facebook algorithms and all the security that you have on your phones that is keeping people from tracking you and knowing your interests and all this stuff that's gotten so much better has absolutely depleted e-commerce brands. I've got friends that were running $100 million a year companies that went out of business in a single year because of all the updated stuff that's happened with Facebook. They're gone. Okay. And so the e-commerce game rather is not anything like it used to be, which is why I don't care for it anymore. It's not the best business opportunity out there. But back in 2015, it was. And it was the Wild West on Facebook. You could put $1 in and get $10 back all day. Didn't matter if you had an offer. Didn't matter what your ad looked like. I had friends in e-commerce running ads for products and services, and they had a photo on the ad of something that wasn't even related to anything they were selling. Let me give you an example. A buddy of mine did online coaching for e-commerce companies. He helped companies grow e-commerce brands on Amazon. He used to run ads, and the picture of the ad was a thunderstorm, okay? And he was slaying it. That is how good Facebook used to be. And so I looked back at that time, and I'm like, dude, I would have probably been able to sell my business for $50 million. Not exaggerating. I would have been worth so much money today. But the reason I wasn't was because I went with somebody else's opinion of what I should have done rather than trusting my gut. Okay. Now today, wholeheartedly, I believe home services is one of the best opportunities out there right now, especially with AI coming up and it being right around the corner from wiping out a massive amount of businesses that are going to be non-existent after it gets better. Home services, I believe right now, which is why I'm in it, is one of the best opportunities. But in 2015, I knew it with everything inside of me. If I would have just went all in on that, I would have been wealthy. And I waited an extra 4 years. And because I waited an extra 4 years, I missed out on almost all the opportunity. Almost all of it. So I make this podcast today not to tell you to quit your business, not to tell you to go start something new. It's to tell you that if your gut's telling you something, and I mean like when I say gut feeling, everything inside of me was telling me that this was the right thing. Everything. You couldn't almost have convinced me otherwise. The only reason I listened to this guy was because of how successful he was. But guess what? He didn't know anything about the e-commerce game. Nothing. And so how could I have expected him to give me fair advice on something that he had no expertise in? Okay? It's not his fault. He gave me the advice he knew to give. And it wasn't necessarily bad advice. And honestly, most of the time, that's the advice I would have gave somebody. But in that moment, when I knew everything inside of me was telling me I needed to go that route, but I didn't, I lost out on an opportunity. Sometimes the best person to give you advice is yourself. And that's why I'm making this episode today, because I'm giving you permission to give yourself advice. Now, listen, it's good to have all these podcasts, this one included, loaded up on your phone. And listen, I've learned so much from people. Okay, so I know the title said why you shouldn't, necessarily be taking advice from anybody, including me. And I mean that. But I've also learned a gazillion things from people that have made me millions of dollars. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is when you have this inkling, this gut feeling, this pull that you can't ignore, there's a reason it's there. So don't ignore it. Okay? At the same time, don't use this podcast as an excuse to hop ship because it's hard. Everything's hard. Even things with the greatest opportunity are hard. And in fact, I'd argue if it's not hard, it's probably not a great opportunity. Because the only good opportunities I know of, or the things that I've made the most money on, were really hard to pull off. And that's why most people don't do them. And so I hope this just gives somebody listening today permission. This could be inside of your current business. You're like, man, I've got a business partner and I know we're supposed to do this marketing source. Or my wife isn't on board with me spending this extra money on the business, but I know it's what's required. I've got to figure out how we can make this happen. I'm giving you permission today to go with your gut, because your gut feeling is there for a reason. Okay? God gave us those gut feelings for a reason. And so trust it. And if I would have trusted it, my life financially would look way different. And it's okay. It's okay I missed out on it. Listen, there's probably other things I missed out on that I don't even know because I was so focused. But at the end of the day, I always think back on that time and I just think to myself, man, if you would have just trusted yourself enough to make the decision, financially I would have been retired today, literally. But it's all good. That's just life. But I wanted to share that because I hope that I can help somebody else avoid missing out on something they're supposed to do. And I'm giving you permission to go do it as long as you know without a shadow of a doubt in your stomach it's the right move. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. As always, if you need any help marketing your business or want to work with me directly doing one-on-one coaching, visit serviceindustrycoach.com. We'll see you on the next episode.